Hear me out for a second. What if I told you, that late night scrolling you're doing before bed may not be as bad as you think? Well, JAMA Pediatrics conducted a study on a group of children between the ages of 11 and 14, and they found that screen time within a 2-hour window before bed doesn't significantly impact quality of sleep. What? Sleep expert Amanda Jewson is joining us this morning to break this down, because I have to say, I'm confused. Don't we constantly say no screen time before bed? So what is happening here?
I know. Well, first, I'm happy to report happy news the first time I'm here. But I mean, I'm always on these shows saying this. And when I saw this study, I was taken aback. But they're very, very clear in this study to differentiate screen time use. So this is very key. Number one, passive use is different than interactive screen use. So passive use is kind of the scrolling. Maybe it's watching a movie, maybe it's watching a YouTube video, whatever the case is. Now, we found that passive use was associated with 4 minutes less of sleep per 10 minutes of content.
Okay, hold on. I got to think about this. Say that again. So passive use.
Yep.
So that's things like
watching a show. Maybe
does that mean scrolling though?
Well, this is a question mark, right? This is where I think we're getting into the nitty-gritty. It depends on how you are reacting to whatever you're watching.
Fair.
So if it's more passive, let's say you're watching a movie.
Okay.
That's going to be less impactful. And yes, it's 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
For every 10 minutes of content, less of sleep.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Now, interactive screen use. This is maybe gaming. This is decision making. That's that 11 p.m. work email that's stressing you out. That sort of content was associated with 17 minutes less of sleep per 10 minutes.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Right? And this is what I really like.
Yeah.
So this study is so granular. It looks at people and where they are as well. So this was content consumed in bed, meaning that this study is looking at not only the type of screen use, but where you are and its proximity to when you are sleeping.
There's so many factors at play.
I know. I know.
This is your life. You talk about sleep. You study. This is your life.
It is.
You study sleep. So are you... So what's your big takeaway from the results of this study then?
I think it's confirming something that I experience anecdotally, personally. Like, I can be on my phone pretty close to going to bed and sleep relatively well. However, if I'm doing something really stressful or I get a client email that stresses me out right before bed, I'm going to be thinking and feeling that all the time.
Yeah.
Now, I think it goes back to what is happening in your body, right? If I'm watching a movie and I'm loving the movie, I'm like, and I go to bed, fine, I'm gonna dream about that, right? Yeah. But if I am, I'm not a gamer, so I can't really speak to this personally, but if you're making these executive functioning decisions in your brain, think about it like a workout. Yeah. We also have the advice, never work out before bed. But there are some workouts that are great. You can do light stretching, gentle yoga. Your body takes less time to recover from that, right? Same with your brain. Right. But if you're doing the full HIIT workout, it's gonna take you a while to come down. Same with these big cognitive functioning activities. It takes your brain, although you don't feel it, it takes your brain time to recover. And that is what I think that this study is showing. And I believe it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you believe it.
I do.
Because this study was conducted between 11 and 14-year-olds. So obviously we're thinking the takeaway could be the same for us, right? Adults? Totally.
So these are older, we're getting into the adolescent age. And honestly, this is one study. I should say we shouldn't all just run out and be in our phones. But I do think that we can extrapolate some of this data to adults because, we have the same melatonin production, similar circadian rhythms. So until further research is conducted, and I would argue we need further research on adults, we can kind of take this not with a grain of salt, but maybe as
interesting starting point almost.
Exactly.
Yeah, you really have to self-reflect and know yourself and how your body's reaction.
Exactly.
Great takeaway. Amanda, great to see you as always.
My pleasure.
If you liked that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.